Hey everybody, it's David. Welcome to another video. Um, this is part 2. Yeah, part 2 of the letter L in my journey through my CD collection. This will be the final episode for L. So we're moving on to the M's next week. Before we get into that, if you haven't subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with all these cool videos I'm doing, going through my CD collection. If you like this video, hit the like button. Before we get into the letter L's, there are 3 albums that I've got in this past week that I've already went through those letters, so I'm gonna show these real quick. First up is Bon Jovi's Keep the Faith. This album is their 5th studio album. It was released in 1992. This was actually the last album that all 5 original members were on, because bass guitarist Alec John Such was let go in 1994. I don't know if this is still true, but this is their longest album, coming in at 66 minutes. It's got some of their biggest singles off of this album: Keep the Faith, Bed of Roses, In These Arms, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, I Believe, which is my favorite song on the whole album. I Believe is a good song. Dry County was another single that they released off of this album. And this was like certified double platinum in, I'm thinking America, but it could have been from all over the, all the countries combined. But anyway, that's Keep the Faith from Bon Jovi. Next is Bon Jovi's Bounce. This was actually released in 2002. It debuted at number 2 on Billboard's 200 chart. This is actually, the title has a little bit to do with September 11th, 2001, and how we were able to bounce back from that horrible day. Let's see. My favorite songs on this album were Every Day, Misunderstood, Bounce, and The Distance. Undivided is another good song. So that is Bon Jovi's Bounce from 2002. One more, and then we can get into the video. This one I'm really excited to get, because I had this album, but something happened to it and I couldn't find it. And now I finally found a good copy for a decent price. And that is the Goo Goo Dolls and Dizzy Up the Girl. This one came out in 1998. This is their 6th album. This is the one that kind of changed their style. Before this, they were like an alternative rock, sometimes punk band, but I like this album a whole lot. It was such a big hit for them because it went 5 times platinum just here in the United States. So, but this one featured Iris. I think that's the song that was on one of the soundtracks that blew up, and yeah. But then there's Dizzy, Slide, Black Balloon, Broadway. Also, Acoustic Number 3, that's a good song too. Songs I really didn't care for on this album were January Friend and Bulletproof, but everything else was just awesome on this album. I just loved this album growing up. I was 18 when this album came out, but anyway, that's Goo Goo Dolls, Dizzy Up the Girl. Alright, now let's get into the video. First up is the Greatest Hits album from Huey Lewis and the News. This came out in 2006 on Capitol Records. It went platinum in the US. I mean, it's got their biggest hits like The Heart of Rock and Roll, I Want a New Drug, The Power of Love. Trying to remember the songs that were on. He had a couple songs that were on like the Back to the Future soundtrack. I think Back in Time was one of them. But they also had Stuck With You, If This Is It, Heart and Soul, It's Alright. It's also got a duet on here with Gwyneth Paltrow, Cruisin', and then there's also Working for a Living. So that's Huey Lewis and the News Greatest Hits from 2006. Next up is the only album put out by this group in 1990, and that's hard rock Christian group Lex Rex with Beat the Heat. This is a good album. I love this album. I had it on cassette when I was younger. I couldn't find anything if these guys went on to be in other bands or what. But Harvey Pritchard was on vocals, Kurt Walsh was on bass, Tom Brock was on guitar, and Tony Vines was on drums. But this was a good album. It was a little rough, but in the production and stuff. But I mean, my favorite song was "I Killed Devils." I love that song. But there was also let's see, where is it? Sledgehammer, Beat the Heat. Blown Away was pretty good too. But yeah, I wish they would have put more albums out because this group was awesome. But yep, sorry about that. Anyway, That's Lex Rex and Beat the Heat from 1990. Next up is Christian hard rock group Liaison. This is their debut album. Came out in 1989 on Frontline Records. Brothers Tim Melby and Larry Melby or what this group is. Yeah, my favorite songs on here are You Are His Main Concern, Man with a Mission, The Way, the Truth, in Life. Let's see what. Kick It Down. Yep. So that's Liaison with their debut album from 1989. This is just the reissue of the album, done back in 2020 on Girder Music. Yeah, I'm not sure if Scott Waters from No Life Till Metal did the layout and all that, but they did a pretty good job reissuing this, which really needed it. This is their second album, Urgency. This came out in 1991 on Frontline Records. Just kind of like the same style out of their first album. Urgency. He Smiled. Lay Your Weapons Down. Yep. So that's Liaison's second album, Urgency, from 1991. Here's the reissue. Much better picture on the front of this one than on the other one. So now this one has a bonus track on it. He Can Heal the Pain, from the Power Team soundtrack, which I also have, and you guys will see when I get to the various artist CDs that I have. But yeah. Next up is their third album, Hard Hitter, from 1992. Again, still on Frontline Records. Yeah. My favorite songs on here are Hard Hitter, Steal, Kill, and Destroy, My God is a Rock, and As Far as the East is from the West. Still, they kept their same sound from the first two albums. Yeah, from 1992, Liaison's Hard Hitter. This is the reissue. From 2020. There's one bonus track My God is a Rock demo. And again, it was also on the Power Team soundtrack. So, yeah. This is their final album from 1998. It could be earlier. This might be a reissue. But, this is Cool Water. To tell you the truth, I really haven't listened to this a whole lot. The only song I can really remember hearing is Until We're Home, and to me it's just not the way they used to sound. It's just kind of off, and not one of my favorite albums. But that's Liaison with Cool Water from 1998. Next up is Lone Star and This Christmas Time. Yep. Came out in 2000. Just your standard Christmas songs. Came out on BNA Records. Yeah. It did feature 3 new songs. This Christmas Time, If Every Day Could Be Christmas, and Reason for the Season. This was their 4th studio album, but their first Christmas album. And this one, kind of cool for a country artist. Landed 3rd on the U.S. Christian albums. I guess because, it had a lot of Christian themes throughout this album. They also did versions of Santa Claus Coming to Town, Please Come Home for Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Little Drummer Boy, Oh Holy Night, What Child Is This, Winter Wonderland, and of course the Christmas song. But I have to say my favorite song on here is Reason for the Season. That's a good song. Alright, next up is Greg Long. This is his debut album, Cross My Heart. This is on Pachyderm Records from 1994. My favorite songs on here are Hold On, which is a duet with Margaret Becker. What a Friend, and Think About Jesus. Yep. And if you can hear the music, I'm trying to play music this week, but if you can hear it, that's who's playing right now is Greg Long. So see if I can actually keep this video up or if I have to redo it. But yeah. Here's his second album from 1996, Days of Grace, on Myrrh Records. This one has Love the Lord and Days of Grace. Yeah. Here's his next album from 1998 on Myrrh Records. It's Jesus Saves. It features We Love You, Jesus, Jesus Saves, probably his best song ever, Mercy Said No. Let's see. More Like Jesus. Yeah. All of these, I think, were produced by John and Dino Elefante. If you don't know who John and Dino Elefante they are, well, John Elefante used to be in the group Kansas. Then he did his own solo stuff in the Christian music realm. Then him and his brother became producers, and they produced, I know they produced a couple of Guardians albums. I think they might have produced a couple Petra albums. The Brave, I know they produced at least one of theirs. Then, of course, Greg Long's albums. Yeah. Yeah. Then here's his 2000 release Myrrh, on Myrrh, called Now. And no, this one is not produced by John and Dino Elefante. It is produced by Brad O'Donnell. It don't matter. It's still a good album. Sufficiency of Grace, In the Waiting, We Dream of a Kingdom. Just another good album. Yep. And I forgot to mention this, but if you guys know the group Avalon, Greg is now in Avalon with his wife Jana. So he moved over when they got rid of Michael in Avalon. No, I shouldn't say got rid of him. When Michael left, Greg came along and took his place, and it seemed like Avalon didn't miss a step there, but anyway. So that's what he's doing now. So check out Avalon's stuff too with him on it. It's awesome as well. But this one came out in 2001, I think. In 2000. So here's his final solo album, Born Again, in 2004 on Christian Records. That's the title of the record label. To me, this is still Greg Long, man. It's just good. My favorite song on here is The Cross, the Blood, the Love. Amazing song. Yeah, like I said, he's now in Avalon with his wife Jaina. Yeah, I mean, this is just an awesome album. It's also Sing About Jesus, Born Again, and Savior of the World. All great songs. You need to look up Greg Long on Spotify or Pandora or wherever you listen to your music. Check him out. I think you guys would like him. Next up is the husband and wife duo of Jody and Chris. This is Loving the Outcome. This is their debut album from 2013. These guys are from Canada. Good music. He Is With Us was like a big hit for them off this album. Then King of My Heart was another good song off of here. But this is on Word Records. Yeah, you guys need to check this group out too. Just awesome. Their next one came out in 2016. These Are the Days. This again is on Word Records. Their sound pretty much stayed the same. They got the production and stuff got a lot better in this one. This one features the song "The God I Know," which is a pretty good hit for them. And These Are the Days. If I Don't Have You. Seek and Find. Yeah. They just keep getting better and better with each album that they put out. Here's their EP from 2020 on Curb and Word Records called You Got This. Great little EP. Of course, my favorite song on here is You Got This. But let's see. Same Page, Imperfect, and Moving On were all good ones as well. So that's Loving the Outcome from 2020 with You Got This. And then this is their latest. Came out this year, Only Ever Always. Great album. I love this album. Check back at the end of the year to see where this comes in on my top 22 albums of 2022. Great album. I love it. Only Ever Always. Need You on Repeat. I'm Not Lucky, I'm Blessed. Look What God Has Done. Then, of course, it took some of the ones off of the EP, like Same Page, Moving On, and they put You Got This on here. So, I mean, it's just an all-around good album for them. They just keep getting better and better. Next up, last artist of this video, and that's Mark Lowry. This is The Last Word. This is his third album release, comedy album. Yeah, just all around funny. He does a lot of parody songs, but he only does one on this album, Baby Why Not Me. I think it's like a parody to Baby Baby from Amy Grant. But then he does some good songs on here, like Rest in the Arms, For Just a Glimpse of You. But then he does his funny comedy skits and stuff. Flying with a Baby, The New Dentist, The Old Sanctuary, Praying to a Single Adult, All Mama Ever Wanted. So just some all-around funny stuff. He hasn't done any comedy albums in a while because he's been doing his solo Southern gospel stuff, and he also still does some stuff with the Gaither Vocal Band. But yeah, and a little bit of, a little something you probably didn't know. But if you ever heard of the group DC Talk, and then you've heard Michael Tate, who's now the lead singer of the Newsboys, well, Mark Lowry and Michael Tate were both up for the spot in the Gaither Vocal Band, but it ended up going to Mark, and which is kind of good because then we ended up getting DC Talk out of it. So, and now he's with the Newsboys. So, if you think about it, where would those two groups be? If he ended up with the Gaither Vocal Band instead of Mark Lowry. So, anyway, that's just something to think about. But here's his next album from 1994. This one's called Mouth in Motion. This is definitely a parody of Amy Grant's Heart in Motion, which is my favorite Amy Grant album anyway. But anyway, that's something totally different. This is a great album. I love this album. I mean, he does parodies of The Great Adventure. He turns it into The Date Adventure. He does a parody of Place in This World with Face in This World. Then he does his own original funny song, First Class Wrong Flight. Then he does a version of Every Heartbeat by Amy Grant. So he turns it into Every Teacher. But then he also does Some Other Time, Some Other Place, a parody of Sandy Patty's Another Time, Another Place, and even Sandy Patty even sings on it with him, which is kind of funny. But then he ends it on a very, very good way with the song This Too Shall Pass. It's just a very good song. Like it says, if you're going through a tough time, it'll pass. Just give it time. Just keep leaning on God and it'll pass. Anyway, that was from 1994, I think. Yep, 1994 on Word Records. That's Mark Lowry's Mouth in Motion. You need to look Mark Lowry up on YouTube and check out some of his videos, his comedy stuff. I mean, he's just funny. And he can sing too. But next up is Remotely Controlled. This one came out in 1996. This is just basically like you're sitting on your couch at home and just flipping through the channels. I mean, there'll be some funny comedy stuff like talking about take a pill and cook the vegetables. Then there'll be one like where he's traveling with Bill Gaither and and he hears Bill snoring like all night long in the tour bus and everything. And then on here he's got, there's only like one parody that he does on this album, and it's if you ever heard of Clay Cross's I Surrender All, he did a parody of that called I Can Eat It All. And yeah, it's just some funny stuff. Then he also does a song called Hyperactivity. He does his own TV tunes medley, where he does theme songs from like classic TV shows, like I think he does All in the Family, the Flintstones, the Addams Family. And then of course he redoes his own song that he wrote, Mary Did You Know. That's a good song that he does. I love that song. But that's from 1996. And finally, his best of album from 1999 called 20 Stories Tall. All he does is it's just some of his best stories, like Take a Pill and Cook the Vegetables, Praying to a Single Adult, Buses, Beds, and Bill Gaither, Open Heart Surgery, Mama's on Hold, God Likes Hyperactive Kids, All Mama Ever Wanted, The New Dentist, Exit Row, and Flying with a Baby. Plus there's more on there, if you can see that. But that's it for this video. I hope you stuck around for that. Hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.